Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the ARCA Racing Series preview show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. And first off, I want to apologize. The audio is probably a little weird here. I'm not really sure. I know, rookie mistake. I forgot my microphone, but we are on location here in Daytona. But I did remember everything else. So I forgot the mic, but I remembered the really important stuff. So you gotta give me points for that, right? Anyway, so we are looking ahead to tomorrow evening's Lucas Oil 200. Or no, I take that back. This evening's Lucas Oil 200, since this is premiering at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So happy race day. First ARCA race day of the season. I'm so excited that we've got cars back on track. You have no idea how excited I am to get out of the off season, back into racing, back at the racetrack, and covering this series, which I really love. I really love the ARCA Racing Series. But let's go ahead and look at what has happened so far this weekend at Daytona. We have had 2 practice sessions and a qualifying to look at so far. Usually we won't have this on the preview show, as most ARCA races are a one-day show, so not feasible to record this after qualifying if qualifying is 2 hours before the race starts. So usually we won't have practice and qualifying to look at in a preview show, but this one's different and we will have it. So we'll take that where we can get it. If you follow us on Twitter, you've already seen these practice and qualifying results, as we tweeted these out as soon as practice and qualifying ended over the past couple of days. But if you haven't seen these, we'll go ahead and flash them up here really quickly. First, we'll look at first practice from Thursday evening. Brandon McReynolds paced that practice. He's in the KBR Development number 28, that team that Carson Hocevar ran a few races for last season in the 35 car. Running the 28 for Brandon McReynolds here at Daytona. And a really cool looking Davey Allison throwback from the paint scheme he drove in his 1992 Daytona 500 victory. Really cool looking car. I love the look of that car. It looks fantastic. But he paced first practice on Thursday with a time of 49.014, 183.621 miles per hour. Very quick lap out of Brandon McReynolds. I'm thinking a lot of cars were in qualifying trim in this practice session. Todd Gilliland was second fastest in this practice, 49.155. Gus Dean in his one-off race for Wintron. They're in third, 49.169. Did get confirmation he is not running the full season this year in ARCA. Just running a few races here and there to get back in that 32-car seat for Wintron. But no, he is not running the full ARCA season this year, as he is running the full truck schedule for Young's Motorsports. Harrison Burton, Brett Holmes also in the top 5. Cody Robaugh, Riley Herbst, Connor Hall, Grant Quinlan, and Brendan Queen all in the top 10 as well. Other notables outside the top 10, Christian Eckes, the second Venturini car, Harrison Burton, of course, being the only one in the top 10. Christian Eckes in 14th. The other 3 Venturini cars actually in a row. 14th was Christian Eckes, 15th Leilani Munter, and 16th was Michael Self. Travis Braden all the way down in 19th. Natalie Decker in 20th. Joe Graf Jr. 22nd. Thad Moffitt down in 24th. So a lot of big names, very low on the list here in this first practice session. A lot of those cars, though, didn't even go out for second practice on Friday morning. So they seem to have figured out what they wanted to figure out in this first practice session and didn't see the need to go out. Second practice from Saturday morning, Andy Seiss paced that practice session with a time of 49.437, 182.05 miles per hour. Sean Corr in the 43 car for Empire Racing came in second in this practice session, 49.522. Tyler Dipple, Todd Gilliland, and Riley Herbst all fast as well. Travis Braden picked up some time in this practice session as well. He picked up all the way to 6th with a time of 49.874. And Leilani Munter up to 9th with a time of 49.919. She was the only Venturini car that took a lap in that second practice session. Christian Eckes, Harrison Burton, Michael Self all sat out the second practice session. Thad Moffitt also jumped up into the top 10 in this practice session as well, 49.927. Brandon McReynolds, who paced the first practice, was 14th in the second practice, so a very big difference in speed there. He could only muster a lap of 50.813 in the second practice session, so some big differences there. Joe Graf Jr. also very far down the list here in second practice as well, 19th in second practice, 51.164. They seem to have been struggling here ever since they unloaded in Daytona. Took them a while to get through technical inspection before qualifying. Ended up missing the group they were supposed to be in qualifying, and ended up going out with the last group in qualifying. Didn't put up a great lap in qualifying either, as we'll see here from the starting lineup. So, starting lineup for the Lucas Oil 200 driven by General Tire tonight at 4:45 p.m. weather permitting. The forecast does not look great today, but scheduled start time is 4:45 p.m. today. Christian Eckes starting from the pole. He had a super fast lap in qualifying, 49.180. A few of these guys were picking up that if you laid back a little and sucked up on the car in front of you throughout the lap, it actually made for a quicker lap. There was a lot of drivers that didn't figure that out in this qualifying session. There were a few that did, and because of that, they ended up very high on the board. Thad Moffitt actually came home in second. He will start on the outside of the front row with a time of 49.226. Thad Moffitt very quick in this qualifying session. Leilani Munter will start in the third position, 49.287 in her final ARCA Racing Series start, her final race of her career. She will start from the third position, looking to win her first ARCA race in her final start. How cool of a story would that be? I think that would be really cool. Willie Mullins with a great qualifying effort as well. He'll start in the fourth position. Harrison Burton rounds out the top 5. Michael Self right there in the sixth position. So all 4 Venturini cars, even though 3 of them were outside the top 13 in first practice, all 4 of them made it into the top 6 in qualifying. They are all very fast. Natalie Decker in her new ride, the 54 car for DGR Crosley. She'll start in the 7th position. Remember, she was the pole sitter in this race last year. Travis Braden will start from the 8th position. Andy Seiss and Connor Hall will be the rest of the top 10. Connor Hall in that 22 car for Chad Bryant Racing. Brandon McReynolds, who paced that first practice session, he'll start from the 11th position. Tyler Dipple in the 52 car for Ken Schrader Racing. He'll start from the 12th position in this afternoon's Lucas Oil 200. CJ McLaughlin there in the 09 car in 13th. Brett Holmes making his return for a full season this year. He will start from the 14th position back in that 23 car that we've gotten accustomed to, the blue and white paint scheme. Really good looking car that he drives on a weekly basis. He is back and planning on running a full season this year as well. Cody Robaugh will roll off from the 15th position. Gus Dean, not with a great qualifying run. He'll start from the 16th position. Same thing for Riley Herbst down here in 17th. The person that has surprised me the most on this qualifying order is Todd Gilliland. Fast in both practice sessions, top 5 in both practice sessions, and he'll start from the 18th position. 50.088 was the lap Todd Gilliland put down. That surprised me a lot. I did not expect him to be that far down on the starting order. In fact, I expected him to be contending for the pole. His teammate Natalie Decker will start from 7th, so I'm not really sure what happened to Todd. He did go out with a rather weird group. He ended up being kind of out on his own leading the group, and not really having a lot of drafting help for most of that group's runs. That might have played a factor in that. Joe Graf Jr., again, we mentioned, seems to just be a little off this weekend. He'll start from the 20th position. 50.155 was the lap set by Joe Graf Jr. in qualifying. As we look down here at 21st through 30th, a few names standing out here. John Farrier running for Empire Racing this weekend in the 44 car. He'll start from 21st. Sean Corr, his teammate in the 43, there in 22nd. Paul Williamson in the 36 car for Vision Motorsports this week. He'll roll off from 23rd. Bobby Gerhart, the Daytona legend in the ARCA Racing Series, he'll roll off from 24th. And as we look down here at the final page, 31st through 35th, Jason White, Eric Caudell, Chuck Hires, Brad Smith, and Con Nicolopoulos. All right, so that's your starting lineup for tonight's Lucas Oil 200. Again, start time is 4:45 p.m. You can catch the race live on Fox Sports 1 this evening as long as the weather holds out. We're hoping it will. Fingers crossed that the weather holds out. Forecast does not look fantastic for today, but we are holding out hope that this race will go. I'm told that we can start it as late as 10:30 p.m. if we need to. If the rain pushes it back that far and we can start it by 10:30, I'm told that is the latest we could go. Otherwise, it would get pushed into Sunday after the Advance Auto Parts Clash for the Cup Series. But the Sunday forecast is not looking much better, so not a great situation to be in right now weather-wise. So we got the fingers crossed, hoping things work out here, but it's not looking great. But we are going to go ahead and make a prediction. Because this is a premiere, we're going to have a live chat for this. There's going to be a live chat before the show premieres, all the way from the time this is uploaded for premiere until it goes live at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. And then there will be a live chat during the premiere as well. So I should have already asked this question somewhere in the chat. I'm assuming that's the plan. But tell us, who do you think is going to win the Lucas Oil 200 tonight? Give us your prediction on a winner of this race. Will it be a Venturini Motorsports car? They're all fast. Will Leilani Munter win her final ARCA start? Will Natalie Decker come back and win the race that she started on pole from last season, win her first race with her new team, DGR Crosley? Or will it be somebody else entirely? Will we see an upset? Will we see somebody that nobody really expects? Let us know either in the live chat if you're watching this on the premiere, or let us know down in the comments. Who do you think is going to win this race? But as for my prediction, there's a lot of fast cars here this weekend, and there's a lot of viable names I could go with. And the analogy I've used before with Daytona, I've used it for the Cup Series race, but I think it applies for the ARCA race as well. I think it especially applies for the ARCA race, as this race tends to be very crash-filled. It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. I could pick the most unlikely person in this race to win the race. Like, if you put Vegas odds on this race, the person that is least likely to win this race, I could pick them, and I probably have just as good of a chance of them winning this race as say a Bobby Gerhart, who's won 9 times, or Christian Eckes, who's starting on the pole. Somebody who's got a really good chance. I've got just as good of a chance with somebody who theoretically has the worst chance in the field. So it's really hard to pick these plate races, but I'm still going to do it. I think Christian Eckes wins this race from the pole. Now, I say that because I saw something out of Christian in qualifying that really impressed me. Christian, in the time that I have seen Christian racing ever since the beginning of the 2018 season, Christian impresses me almost every time he gets on the track. He's a very good learner. This was his first time on a super speedway, did not really know a lot about drafting. Other than the preseason test and the couple of practice sessions, qualifying was his first time on a super speedway. Has never really had any experience with drafting, kind of just picking it all up on the fly, and he learned watching qualifying that if you back up off of turn 4 and set yourself up to get a good suck up on the car in front of you during the following lap, that will make your lap faster. Not a lot of folks picked up on that, and that's why Christian Eckes set such a blazingly fast lap at a 49.180 to take the pole. I think Christian Eckes wins this race. He is such a fast learner. I think he has already picked up super speedway racing to a T, and what he hasn't learned, I think he'll pick up relatively quickly in this race and be a really tough contender in this race as long as he can avoid the wrecks, because we know there's going to be wrecks. This race is always very wreck-filled. It's just a given at this point. So as long as he can avoid the wrecks, I think Christian Eckes has the best chance of anyone in this field because of the way that he learns so quickly. I think it's going to be very tough to beat Christian Eckes in this race. So that's my prediction for the Lucas Oil 200. Christian Eckes starts off his championship adventure with a win at Daytona. And that is a great way to start off a full season looking for a championship, is with a win at the World Center of Racing. But I believe that will do it for us on this ARCA Racing Series preview show. Like I said, let us know in the live chat if you're watching this on the premiere, or down in the comments if you're watching this later. Who do you think is going to win the Lucas Oil 200? Fingers crossed we get this in on time at 4:45 p.m. today. If not, like I said, we can push it all the way back to, I believe the time I was told was 10:30 p.m. Otherwise, it gets pushed into Sunday after the Clash. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope we get it in today and everything runs smoothly. But like I said, I think that'll do it. So if you haven't done it already, go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. While you're down there, why don't you hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video? It's much appreciated when you do that, and it helps us out so much here on RNN, as we've been growing so much lately, and your feedback and your comments, it helps us continue to grow and give you better content going forward. So with that, this has been the first ARCA Racing Series preview show of 2019. As always, I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.